On this week's episode of The Fizz, we have our Sunday evening post-Lions victory special, where we break down the Detroit Lions victory versus the Carolina Panthers, and then we get into the rest of the NFL, and then we wrap it up with a little over-under. But before we get into all that, I have to tell you about our amazing sponsor, Michigan-made VOSA. VOSA is an RTD, ready-to-drink vodka beverage that is made right here in Michigan and comes in two amazing variations. Their first variation is their vodka water, which has no carbonation, is 5% alcohol by volume, uses natural flavors, water, and is very, very good. My favorite of the vodka waters is actually the lemon. The lemon I feel like is awesome. It is the smoothest flavor for me, but they do come in other flavors as well, such as peach, pineapple, and raspberry lime. But in addition to that vodka water, they do have a Highline cocktail. And the Highline cocktail has a little bit higher alcohol by volume, 7%. It uses 6 times distilled vodka, natural juice flavors, but this one has some sparkling water in it. So if you do like carbonation with your RTDs, with your alcoholic beverages, the Highline is definitely going to be for you. That one comes in lemon as well, but then they also have cherry, peach, and pineapple. Whatever one you guys try, go give them a shot. They sponsor the Fizz, they sponsor Champaign Athletics, and they are made right here in Michigan. So if you like vodka RTDs, go give VOSA a try, whether it's the water or the Highline. VOSA. Enjoy the finer things. But now, let's get into the Fizz. Hello and welcome to episode 121 of The Fizz. Thank you all for joining us. We are live Sunday after the Lions game, downtown Detroit, Rivertown. I am with the main men, Ice Cold Brew Lou. How we doing, Lou?
Doing good, baby. Another Lions victory, another Sunday downtown with the boys. Let's go.
Absolute no doubter today. Also got Channy football with me. How we doing, Channy?
Very impressive. I've never seen a Lions team like this.
It's absolutely incredible, and we are going to waste no time getting into the game today. And before the game ever starts, we're down here. We're bopping around. We've already hit Greektown. We've already hit Eastern Market. So today we were a little bit in limbo about where to go because those are definitely 1A, 1B, the two spots to tailgate. So we ended up in front of Comerica. Today was a crisp fall day. Felt great out there.
It did. Fall is here. Fall is officially here now when the weather changes. A little crispy on the scooters coming over.
Yep.
We were zigging in and out of traffic like Toretto, but the hands got a little chilly, but nothing the sun couldn't warm up and a couple brews.
And, you know, was it like the grills smell different when it's a little more brisk?
Oh, yeah.
The Labatt Blues taste a little different. And everyone's a little more amped because I think they're trying to get a little bit more liquid heat than they usually do.
Yeah. And I feel like it's just like, oh, here we are. We're getting into football season. Yep. And the fact that the Lions now have a 4-1 record absolutely helps with that enjoyment as well.
100%. And I will say, like, everyone was excited when we did our first one this year, but it's turning into, like, confidence. And the fan base has never felt that, but it's not cockiness. It's just like, we're going to go in and we're going to win the game. And that was the general vibe today when we were going around and talking to people.
I would argue that there is a lot of cockiness out there. If you watch our tailgate video, there are some people saying some derogatory things, and you have hosts asking who they would slap the shit out of on the other team. I think that definitely teeters the line.
High confidence.
Yeah, I'd say confidence was absolutely buzzing today. So I don't know what it is, but when we start those tailgate vids, like we're always, haven't had really any drinks yet. We're just kind of showing up. People are just showing up. And, like, it always seems like it's going to be a little slow. And then, like, you meet the first guy. Like, today was the hammer.
Yeah, right off the rip, The hammer comes in, and he was all systems go. He was screaming. I think I asked him if we were at the fucking Palace.
Yeah, you did. We were a little rusty to start. You said we're out here at the Palace of not Auburn Hills and not the Palace at all. That building's demolished. Doesn't even stand
Couldn't
anymore.
be farther away from the Palace.
Yeah, we're a hike from that, bud. But yeah, guy called himself the Hammer. I shook that guy's hands, and he works with his hands. He had like Gordie Howe hands.
Yeah. He knows how to use a hammer.
Yeah, not like mine. Mine were like Jergens lotioned up. You know what I mean? So soft stuff. But awesome tailgate. There's like a lot more buzzing going around the stadium. They had the fucking zip line going. That's the first time I've seen that.
Yeah, no, I've seen it before,
you
but
have?
not. Yeah.
Okay.
But usually we come from the right side there of Elwood, and it's on the other side, so like you kind of walk away from it. Or anyway, like when I get into the games.
Yeah.
But it was funny too. Like we started in front of Comerica, and I felt like we were kind of at like the 40 or over tailgate for a little bit.
Yeah. It was
I mean, everyone was friendly, but it was just like your standard, like, go Lions, go eat them up, boys.
Yeah.
And we were like, all right, we got to fucking pick it up. We
did find the
juice.
we found the face painters in there, which were pretty good. They had a pretty good gang of people there. A guy looked like the Hamburglar, a kitty cat. What was our other guy?
Sports
guy.
and then Christmas
Christmas
Kringle.
guy. Yeah, we had Christmas guy as well. So once again, Lions fans just show up, show out. That place had to just be absolutely rocking today. Eminem was in the crowd, spotted in the crowd. More shady, less Swift. That's what everyone's saying. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm reading.
I can get behind that.
Yeah. So, yeah, boys.
It is confirmed Taylor's not at the game today.
Unreal.
Scott
Yeah.
Hansen confirmed.
Scott Hansen totally confirmed.
For anyone
it.
that cares, for anyone that cares, he says. We did have a champagne first. We were on our first party bus today. That was pretty cool.
That was wild.
Mobbed into the party bus. Mike was buzzing the camera in there. Motherfucking Animals, of course, is bumping over the stereo. And we
forgot
were
the name of
shaking
that
that thing down. Yeah, I think it's Animals, right?
Yeah.
Martin Garrix, yeah. So full blast. That was cool.
Yeah.
Don't
Everyone's
forget,
super
though,
friendly.
we did a lot of football today, but Frank, you did a little religion on this Sunday.
That's right.
You did somewhat. I don't even know. I don't want to say go to church, but you were in the spirit.
I
with
got blessed or
Mr.
something like that.
What did it say? You will go to heaven, or you will see
Once
God.
you die, you will meet God, right?
There it was.
Yeah.
There it was.
And then
Once you die, you will meet God.
And then he told me all men go to hell. That guy drove up from Ohio. Ohio. Yeah, I asked him where he was from, and he said I believe he said Hicksville, Ohio. I'm not even making that up. I am not making that up. And I just asked how many of you converted today. You know, and he's like, it's a little tough. I'm like, why do you pick these games? He's like, because they get the most eyes on people. Because it is just fascinating. Those guys just out there with the religious signs in the heart of an NFL tailgate. You're not finding much God out there, my friend.
No, quite the opposite.
no pun
sir.
intended, but God bless him. Shoot your shot.
I guess. But I mean, he didn't even have anything for me to like sign up for Jesus. It was just he just wants to convert you mentally right there on the spot.
Hey, that's when you can do it, when you're most vulnerable.
Yeah, and he just kept telling me all men are going to hell. And I was like, okay, sounds good. And he's like, and I need to teach these young men that they're all going to hell. And I was like, okay, all right, bud.
I'll tell you who's not going to
Give
hell.
me a score prediction. That's like where we landed.
The glizzy queen of the Midwest, the lunch lady.
The lunch lady.
Supplied us with a couple nice dogs. They had the supersized, the regular, the hot sausages, spicy.
Yeah.
A cop even rolled up smoking a stogie, getting a fresh dog. Shout out to the lunch lady. Appreciate the hot dogs today.
Yeah. Yeah, and as far as and also another shout out to our well, I'm blanking on the name. What's the restaurant?
The Harbor House.
Harbor
Oh, yeah.
House.
Our
Back
boys at
alley
the
guys.
house.
Yeah, they're the best. The Harbor House back alley guys. They're pretty great at what they do. We got to dap them up again today. They were singing for us, singing
They
some Ed
saw
Sheeran.
us coming down the alley, and they were like, let's go.
Yeah. And they, we gave them some beers on the job, of course, and they were singing Ed Sheeran for us. So that was very nice to see them again.
The best part is, like, most of these people aren't like dressed up. Like, this is just who they are.
Yeah.
What was it? DJ Magoo or DJ
Oh, yeah.
Mick
He was
Magoo
going live
or-
while we were live.
Yeah, he was live while we were live.
That was so wild. It felt like Inception. Like we had the camera going, and then he's carrying around an entire laptop.
On his shoulder.
I feel like we have to describe this guy a little better to our listeners. Like this guy was carrying a full-blown MacBook on his shoulders that was going live with the front camera. Obviously, so he had it carrying around, and he would just flip it on you, and you would just be live on God knows where he's streaming that. God knows. So that was pretty good. Good vibes all day today, and a game that was like never in doubt. Lions missing 2 of their top offensive guys with Jameer Gibbs out and Amon-Ra St. Brown. No problem at all. No difference whatsoever. Branch missing on D. Other guys just stepped up. Lions up 14-0 after 1, and then just never looked back. 28-10 at half, and then just continued to put their foot on the gas.
Good teams play good games and come to play most weeks. Great teams come to play regardless of the opponent every week. And the Lions did what they were supposed to do. I know a lot of people were worried about the letdown situation that we were in, being off 10 days, just like we were earlier in this year, coming before our loss. But the Lions came to play from start to finish, offense, defense, special teams, everything in between. Just a flawless game, and a game that they should have been flawless in, and they did do it. This team's absolutely rolling. And like you mentioned, Frank, you get Amon-Ra St. Brown out, who is by far our best receiver. And what do? You have Marv Jones come in for some minutes. You have Khalif Raymond come in to get 3 for 45. Just guys stepping up, filling into the system and doing their job and dominating while doing so.
Absolutely. And some of the big factors that came out to me too were, won the turnover battle, 3-0, unbelievable pick by Hutchinson, Jacobs with a pick, and then I don't know who scooped up that fumble, maybe Will Harris. But won the turnover battle, 4 for 4 in the red zone, and ran the ball for 159 yards. Nothing else you can ask for. An absolute dominating performance from our Detroit Lions.
Yeah, just pure domination, better team versus a worse team. And I was saying to you guys, like, during the game, like, the fucking Lions coaching staff just had to have that meeting. Like, Amon-Ra probably could have played, and they were probably just like, what? Like, we can do this. Yeah. We can handle the Panthers without these guys.
Right. Dude, that snap between the legs to Montgomery was one of the wildest plays I've seen this year. I've never seen that in an NFL game before.
I've never seen that in a football, like, period.
No.
I've never seen that ever.
It's like a punt snap.
It was so smooth that the announcers didn't even notice it. They didn't even mention it. They were talking about like which hole Montgomery hit, and had no idea that the ball went right to him.
Just breezing past it.
I mean, between that, the double reverse throw to Laporta, just an absolute clinic from Ben Johnson again today. Felt like he was just kind of picking on Carolina.
We were running literally whatever we wanted. The whole playbook was open. And I don't know if it's too early or not, boys, but like, do we start mentioning Laporta as a Rookie of the Year candidate?
I think you have to. I think Red Zone just made him Rookie of the Week for offense. So,
2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and he's got to be a top 3 tight end receiver, right?
I would think so.
If not number 1, honestly. Yes. He's way up there.
I would think so at this point. The other thing that I liked in this game was Montgomery's been good, but he's had a high volume of carries in the first couple weeks. This week, another 100-plus yard game. This week, though, he averaged 5.7 yards per carry. We saw the 3.5, 4 yards per carry. He really took charge, really had the backfield, under his wing this week without having Gibbs back there. So it was good seeing Montgomery getting a little bit higher yard per rush, and he broke that big one right off the rip to really just set the tone.
He's been unbelievable. I mean, he really is like that good. The fact that there was like a debate if they were talking about this internally, whether to sign him or to keep Jamal Williams, I mean, it's not even close.
No, not even close.
And like I've said every week, like he's got way more shake to him and pass catching ability than I ever thought he did. I just thought he was kind of like a bruiser.
He's been unbelievable.
Yeah, he's been fucking awesome. And even Craig Reynolds, 7 for 52 today. Back to Ben Johnson, so you have Jared Goff with Khalif Raymond, Josh Reynolds, and a rookie tight end, leading the offense today, obviously outside of the running backs. But that is, unbelievable to me that Ben Johnson's, dialing up these tricky-ass plays with this group of guys out there.
That's how much trust he has in this team. And shout out to JG. I mean, that guy's playing unbelievable. No mistakes, really, today at all. He's putting the ball on the fucking money down the field.
Dude, and I think he's more confident than he's ever been.
I agree.
Even with his Instagram posts, the way he's dapping up fans after games, even in photos and stuff, he just seems to be thriving with confidence.
He looks better now than he did when he was on the Rams and they went to the Super Bowl. Yes. Straight up.
Yeah, he feels more comfortable.
I agree.
And why wouldn't you be? In another rushing touchdown for Goff.
That's nuts.
I don't know his career stats on it, but now to have 2 in the last 2 games at home, that's wild to me. And again, just a really efficient game. But as much as we want to give, these skilled position players the props, or Jared Goff the props, Ben Johnson, you also have to give it up for our offensive line, who it's been a revolving door week in, week out these first 4 weeks of the season. But today did really good with protection, only gave up 2 sacks. And that's what you need for this offense to be successful. If you're not going to have that big, tight play offense, a little more conservative 10 to 20-yard routes, you've got to have good protection. And this line has not only showed out today, but has showed out for most of the year so far.
Amen to that, Chandler. I mean, look at the Bengals. They got everything that we have, but they don't have a fucking O-line, and it shows.
Yeah. Yeah, the O-line has just been an absolute brick wall. I mean, just top to bottom, like if we're just, let's enjoy this one. Has Riley, I don't want to jinx this, but has Riley Patterson missed anything this year? Does he have a miss?
No, I don't believe so.
He was 6 for 6 today on extra points. And I was just kind of thinking, I don't know if he's missed one this year.
Yeah.
I could be just spacing on it, but I feel like.
I don't think.
Did he miss one versus Seattle?
No, he's 5 for 5 this year on field goals.
Yeah, and extra points, I think he's perfect too.
I will say this, though. His long is 38 yards.
No way.
Yeah.
That's that's an extra point almost.
Yeah. So,
I mean, that's fine by me.
Hey, fine by me as well. And if we're talking about awards, I know you mentioned Laporte Rookie of the Year award. Can we start to have the whispers about Hutchinson being the Defensive Player of the Year? 4.5 sacks now, interception today, forced fumble and fumble recovery in Week 3 against the Falcons. He's got to be in one of the top 5 most impactful defenders this year, being only 5 weeks in.
Oh, he's a fucking terror. I mean, versus Green Bay, they were just letting him shoot up whoever looked the most scared on the line. Yeah. And he just looks like a freak. And this week he went no gloves, which is just pure animal style stuff. And I fucking love it. It looked so goddamn gritty when he was hauling him down with no gloves on.
Yep.
Dude, he looks pure.
Yeah. He looks like an animal. And how about Anal Zone with 11 fucking tackles today?
Great.
He's kind of been
2 good weeks in a row for him, man.
We give him a lot of shit, and I will always call him Anal Zone, even if he's the best linebacker in the league. It's too good of a nickname. But yeah, dude, he's been awesome too. And Jerry Jacobs with another pick. Another pick.
It was great. It was great. And I want to say this because we mentioned it while we were watching the game. If it sounds like we're fanboying out right now, we are.
Yep.
Know why? Relish in this. We have never had a team this good who's come out this consistently week over week over week and dominate. 3 straight weeks with 14-plus point victories. I mean, relish in this, Detroit. Relish in this, Lions fan, because I'm not going to say this doesn't come around often. This hasn't come around for most people's lives in this city with this team.
With the division being this bad.
Right.
To boot.
Right.
To boot. And a schedule that definitely looks pretty juicy over the next month plus. I mean, we go to Tampa next week. That's going to be a tough one on the road. Tampa's a little better than we thought. Yep. Then we're at the Ravens. So tough. If we go 2-0 out of there, I mean, that'll be super impressive, seriously, just because these are 2 NFL teams on the road that are not horrible, even though the Ravens looked like one of the worst teams I've ever seen today.
Yeah, they had a bad day today.
Really bad, yeah. And then we're home versus the Raiders. And, we'll be back on the streets for that one. Looking spooky Halloween. It'll be good.
Oh, that's going to be an all-time tailgate.
We have everything in front of us, and to be 4-1 through 5 weeks, it's almost surreal.
Yeah, with the Bears still twice and the Vikings still twice.
Right.
Yeah, who are both fighting for their lives, and just the Bears are just really working to not be laughed at. That's all they can do. It's all they can do. Well, hell yeah. Any more notes on the game today? I'm trying to think if there's anything more during the tailgate that we should note. I mean, outside of everyone just being super nice, just feeding us shots and beers and all that stuff. It's pretty fun.
And then we had the guy from Carolina just giving the biggest handshake to the people of Detroit.
Oh, yeah. That guy was super nice. So it was good to see that. He came in for an ass kicking. Right. Just thanks for coming, bud.
Right.
But just know he wasn't from Charlotte. He was from Greenville, South Carolina.
That's right.
Beautiful town.
That's right. He drives up for the game. Yeah. Nice guy. All right. You want to scoot into the rest of the NFL?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what we got here. Let's go down the list. So we're recording right in the middle of the 4 o'clock games. A lot of games are at halftime or the third, about halfway through the third quarter. Cardinals and Bengals in a dogfight. Cardinals just got in again. 24-20 there. Eagles and Rams in a dogfight.
Let's note with the lock of the week bet from Ice Cold Jamar Chase, first touchdown of the game. That one roared in.
Yeah, that was great. The Bills screwed me early this morning. That was a tough way to start my day. But we're bouncing back. A little help from Jamar.
We learned a valuable lesson that game. Do not bet against Team London, Jacksonville Jaguars in London.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I won't ever touch it again.
Nope.
We also learned another lesson today. -5.5, you take the underdog, because every time a line comes out at 5.5, it seems to move down to 4 or up to 6, and the underdog always covers. So listeners out there, if you see -5.5, take the dog, take it to the bank.
And this happened 3 times this weekend with favorites and fishy 5.5 lines. This is real facts. This is math. We've done the numbers. Don't trust that 5.5. You take the dog. So it happened with the Bills today. They opened at 5.5 versus the Jags as favorites. It happened Saturday with Texas over Oklahoma. And Oklahoma ended up winning that game. And Louisville, Notre Dame. And literally the dogs all outright won at 5.5. That line is fishy. It makes no sense. You never see 5-point wins in the NFL. No. Just kidding. You saw one this morning.
This is big brain stuff here. This is why people tune into us.
This is why we do the research.
That's right.
This is why we do the work.
Yes.
And we were saying it. I know this isn't NFL, but the Texas-Oklahoma game, all the money, all the bets coming in on Texas, line moving in the opposite direction. As much as you think you love a game, Vegas fucking knows.
Mm-hmm. They absolutely do. They absolutely do. Someone who did not go to work today, the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers. What a mess of a game. Just when I think it blows my mind how the Ravens could only put up 10 points.
And they didn't even have a bad day offensively. They still had 335 yards of total offense, but they had 3 turnovers and just couldn't score in the red zone.
They didn't score in the second half.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Ice Cold Brew Lou, you know the Jamar Chase bet? You had another one, too, that your big bro tried to walk you off the ledge to take the Steelers.
Sometimes you just got to jump.
I took and I followed you. Like you were already falling, and I followed you. I took the Ravens live.
Wait for me.
Cool 7-point lead in the second. I thought we were good to go. Wrong. Steelers win. This division becomes more confusing by the minute.
Dude. The craziest. I have no idea what to think about that division at this point.
Yeah, and we still don't the Bengals could lose to the Cardinals. We're in a 4-point game in the middle of the third, and they're on the road.
And how many crazy plays were there at the end of that game with the block punt that turned out to be a safety, then the muffed punt by the Steelers, then the interception that looked like Lamar was throwing to the DB instead of his own receiver
on the 6,
and then Kenny Pickett throwing a bomb to Pickens with just about 2 minutes left in the game.
And then still not done. They mismanage the clock, and there's an illegal formation on a kneel down, which causes them to have to kick. And then Lamar had another chance again to try to win the game and just crapped his pants. That game sucked, man.
It was really bad.
Yeah, that was
very boring
awful.
game. Yeah.
It was, it doesn't sound boring, but it was. It was just who wanted it less?
That's the only way Pittsburgh is winning that game, with a bunch of that fiasco shit going on, because I can't watch Kenny Pickett throw another ball. He is terrible.
It's unbelievable how they're 3-2. And they always do this shit.
They are. They're the scrappiest team, I swear to God.
They never get 2 games over 500 or 2 games under. I feel like they always have to
just stay
by
middle.
1.
Good coaching.
Yeah, I guess.
Good coaching.
And some crazy fucking luck.
Speaking of good coaching, Bill Belichick. Yikes.
Yeah, his time may have passed. They are 0-3 at home. I didn't know they've played 3 games at home. They're 1-4.
Are they the worst team?
The Bears are still very, very bad.
They are.
They're very close to him, though. Mac Jones is an absolute bust.
At least, but at least the Bears are chaotically bad.
Right.
They could do some crazy shit and lose a game 45-40. The Patriots just don't move the ball.
They can't score.
No, they can't pick up a first.
There's no way you can trot Mac Jones out there again next week. You have to make the change, right?
He's got to be done at this point. And to suffer Belichick's worst loss of his career last week, a 35-point loss in Dallas, to follow it up with the second worst loss in his career this week.
To do it again?
I mean, you've got to change something up, because it's not just Mac Jones. They have no receivers. Zeke is done. I mean, he's
been
not
dead.
doing anything. And obviously their defense isn't that great if they've given up 30-plus points 2 straight weeks.
Yeah, Mac Jones today, 12 for 22, 110 yards, 2 picks.
Wow, and I mean, when your defense is on the field the entire game, like, you're going to give up points. I don't care if Derek Carr is fucking wheeling the helm.
I mean, when was the last time the Patriots lost that bad at Gillette? That's got to be like a
Not since
to the
Belichick
Saints.
was
They
the
played
coach.
the fucking Saints.
Yeah, we're talking about the Saints here,
Talking
too.
about the Saints, who Derek Carr on the other side was 18 for 26 for 183.
He stinks.
He stinks too. Stink bowl.
Good day for Alvin. Welcome back. What do you have, about 80 on the ground and a touchdown?
Yeah,
he had a
They
good
have
day.
such good weapons there, too. If they had a good quarterback, I mean, Olave, I know Mike T's a little older. Alvin, it's like they could be slinging it around Taysom. Sad to see that it's being wasted with Derek Carr back there.
Yeah, I don't know why people were always like, he's a good locker room guy, was always the narrative. And it's
Yeah.
like, who gives a shit?
Well, do they like to win?
Yeah. What do you like there? 34-0. Saints beat the shit out of the Patriots. Under still hits because the Patriots could not put up a single point. That's incredible. Another game, Dolphins, Giants, predictable outcome. Nothing too surprising here. Dolphins beat the shit out of the Giants 31-16. I had the Dolphins winning that division, but I had the Giants like being a decent team, and they're just trash. Why are they such garbage?
They're bad. Daniel Jones hasn't played well. Offensive line hasn't played well. I think it was 11 sacks last week and 7 sacks this week. So if you can't protect
God.
anybody, you're not going to do anything. Call up Joe Burrow and the Bengals. He'll tell you the same thing. But Giants are bad, but I was watching the Dolphins. They might be the fastest team I've ever seen from top to bottom with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, that A-Chan. I feel like they were just blowing down the field the whole game. It was like 20 to 30-yard gashes every drive all throughout the game.
I feel like that's what they do. They just like run you into the ground.
Dude, there's no one more explosive than watching Tyreek get the ball in open space. That guy zigzags up and down the field. He had 181 yards today. And A-Chain, dude, that guy's the real deal. He only had 11 carries and still busted out 151.
Holy shit. And I couldn't believe when we were watching it, they were like, A-Chan might be the fastest guy in the NFL right now. And that's like on a team with Tyreek. And I was like, I didn't know he was like that fast.
Yeah.
That's nuts. So no surprises there. Another kind of boring game. I mean, it was like a close one, but like two teams I can't figure out. Titans and Colts. Colts take care of the Titans. And AR-15 is like out again.
Yeah, it looked like his shoulder was like falling off his body.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed he's all right, because they are fucked if they don't have him.
Who's going to win that division? Jags?
It's got to be the Jags at this point in time. You got to think they're in the driver's seat.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like the Titans like didn't want to win that game. Like, they had so many chances to get down the field, and like, what the fuck happened to King Henry, dude?
Dude,
he has
looks
been
slow.
like,
He's old.
yeah. I mean, I haven't seen him all year. He hasn't done anything.
Yep.
But like, how long's he been in? Like, he got a new contract, right? Like,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
long's he been in the league?
Like 7 years, maybe?
Has it been 7 years already?
Yeah, he's probably 29, 30 years old, somewhere
Sounds
around
right.
there.
It's so crazy how it just goes away for running backs.
Yep.
Like,
Off the cliff.
yeah. And he was like freight training guys like 2 years ago.
And running away from guys.
Yes. I know. It's just wild to see. And then the last one we actually got to finish today was Falcons, Texans. Push. You
Yeah.
picked Texans +2. That's a mind-blowing push to me. What is 2 points? That's insane.
No, you know what? I got it early. That was a 3-er. Texans were +3, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll have
so
to check the tape
snuck
on that
one
one.
in.
Well,
Snuck
I mean,
in the
on
old
tape, he
Texans.
said 2. It was 2 when he banged
We'll
her
check
in.
the tape.
Yeah.
Check the tape.
And whenever you got punched in before kick, that's great. But I know on tape you had 2.
That game too, like, kind of boring.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Like, I know it was a close game, but it was like,
Yeah, what was it like?
I can
you break
assure
that down
you.
for us again? All right, here we go. We got
Back of
Chiefs. We got
eyelids.
Chiefs in the red zone here. I got Kelsey anytime to save my day from the Bills going down. They're at the 8. I don't even know if Kelsey's still in the game. We do some live watching here.
Another turnover in the Jets-Broncos game. Surprise,
Is this a muff
surprise.
punt?
Guy just got rocked and fumbled.
Gotta be.
This game stinks.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Two bad teams.
And the score just I don't know. These bad teams always have these funny scores.
Those Broncos uniforms are hot, though. They
Yeah.
did something
the
right
white
today.
helmets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are sweet.
the snow caps they keep calling.
Yeah,
them.
I know. Like, all right.
Hansen like said Wilson fell on his snow-capped ass or something. Like it was just such a nuts Hansen line. All right, here we go. Patrick Mahomes. Kelsey's not even in the fucking game.
He was on the sideline. Looked like his ankle was taped up, so I guess we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, we have to find out if he's done for the day. That would be kind of my day. That's how we're fighting it right now.
By day.
Yeah. So I want everyone to know for snack time if and we didn't even talk about him, but Jamison Williams back today, drops one ball right through his hands. I mean, the other two, he caught like some out routes.
Yeah, hitches, bubble screens.
Very quiet day.
Very quiet. They threw it to him on third down on like a little hitch, and he picked up like 3 yards, and he was like flexing. Like, I don't know. It was kind of weird to me. He just got really, really pumped up, and nothing happened. But we were going to review the dinner that he posted a few weeks ago, which is Flamin' Hot Cheetos covered in queso. We need him to do something first. We need a touchdown.
I say as soon as he scores a touchdown, we eat it.
Yeah, I think so. That's what we're looking forward to. As soon as J-Mo finds pay dirt, we will chomp Flamin' Hot Cheetos covered in queso. And I think his queso had like jalapenos.
Yeah, we got to look at that a little deeper. I'm pretty sure there was some meat chunks in there.
Yes.
There might have been a couple red peppers, but
yes,
take a look.
Looked like it was basically nachos on Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Yeah. Well,
Like a very
queso cheese.
Yes.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
very
yeah.
simple.
Yeah. Yeah. Chiefs scored, not Kelsey. I'm still down on the day. That's okay. Whatever. Ray Rice scored. Glad to see he's back in the NFL.
I would like to ask, though, are you guys surprised about J-Mo? I mean, we kind of all were in unison that he was probably going to come out the gate slow this week as far as snap count and impact. I mean, what did you guys think after today and seeing him in his limited time on the field?
I feel like I've kind of stood in the box for him a little bit and been like, he'll be fine. Not that I needed him to like blow me away today. There's just something that doesn't feel right out there body language wise. And I hate like judging a guy just completely on body language, but just, I don't know. Something doesn't seem right. Like even that,
you can tell on that slant when he dropped it and he gave that face. He was like, eh.
Yeah, and I just didn't like him like selling like a 3-yard pickup. Like I don't know. He just kind of seems like he's doing his own thing out there.
Yep.
You know, and then it makes you look deeper into the quotes from Campbell, who basically just said like, we just hope he kind of lines up in the right spot.
Yep. The positive though of today was he did have a key block on Montgomery's first touchdown run.
Good.
And I know his physicality is not his strength. But again, I don't think we sound the alarms until the end of the month. If he's not doing anything or he's not in the rotation for 50+% of the snaps by the end of the month, that's when we start saying the B word.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree. Or if, something, God forbid, like if there's another setback.
Yep.
And I know you can't really control injuries too much, but if there's any sort of setback, clock's going to be ticking for sure. Okay, boys. I mean, yeah.
What about real quick? The game tonight, absolute fucking barn burner tonight. NFC.
Oh yeah.
NFC Titans matching up. Chandler, who do you like today? Dallas at San Francisco.
I like San Francisco. I think they're going to be ready. They've looked like the most complete team, in my opinion, through the first 4 weeks. Dallas, good team. I think they'll come to play tough today, but San Francisco might have the best offensive mind in football right now. That's Kyle Shanahan. So solid with Brock Purdy. Obviously, their defense is great. I just think the Niners have a little too much, and I don't think the Cowboys are all there just yet, especially after losing Trayvon Diggs just a couple weeks ago. So I think the Niners are going to win and cover tonight. And I don't think McCaffrey hasn't scored a touchdown since he's been on the team. I believe dating back to last year, he scored in every 49er game.
I think he's at 13 in a row.
Yep.
Yeah, because there's some crazy stat out there. If you took him anytime touchdown and just kept doubling down, you'd be at like 140 grand.
On 100, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the Niners are going to have too much, and they're going to take the Cowboys, 7-10 point victory.
For this one, like, scares me a little bit, like, betting-wise. Like, if I'm just looking at this, I think 49ers win. They're at home. They're a fucking wagon. Like, they're a better team than the Cowboys. But for, like, that number just seems like a little spooky to me for betting reasons. I would think it would be bigger. So, to me, it seemed like a slam dunk to take the 49ers. And usually when you feel that way, it goes the other way, because that's how I felt about the fucking Bills this morning, and they outright lost. And Hank picked the Cowboys over the 49ers.
Wow.
the boy's been hot. You know, if Patrick Mahomes decides not to slide at the end of last week, the dog is 4-0. So I got to stick with Hank. I'm taking Cowboys plus 3.5. I think 49ers win by a field goal. I think it's going to be that close.
How did he handle the slide last week?
Like a dog. Yeah, he handled it pretty well. I mean, he kind of just shook it off, you know, got back in there and just ate more food.
There we go.
Yeah, he just said, you know what, feed me. Let's keep eating.
We can all take lessons from dogs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he didn't even look back. He probably doesn't even know what's going on. So it was great.
I think that's what you did. I think you had your Bucharest after the Bills had lost, and you started betting again after that.
Yeah,
so.
and I think I hit some like
2 or 3 in a row, right?
Yeah, something like that. And then now I'm giving it all back.
No big deal.
Kelsey not getting in the game, and of course he tweaked his ankle and shit like that. Tossed a little back for the Ravens as well. So
we need T Swift in the stadium to heal him.
We're spraying the board.
We have a search party out
I'll be
looking
honest,
for.
it sounds lame, but when they were like, yeah, she's not there, I'm like, great. Now they're not going to try to feed him the rock. Yeah. Fucking bust his ankle, go sprinting off. I was like, tight. I'm fucking toast. What do you got tonight, though, Lou? Did you pick this one?
I did. Yeah, I did. I'm actually riding with you and Hank, too. I think that Dallas feels like this is an all-eyes-on-us game. They have a lot to show for. This is basically kind of for the kings of the NFC outside of our boys in Detroit. I think Dak's going to have a good game, and I think it's going to be a close one, too. I think that the Niners are going to win by a slim margin, 1 or 2 points, and I think the Cowboys are going to cover, though.
Yeah. Also, I love the coaching matchup here for the 49ers. I mean, just McCarthy, I am still surprised sometimes that he's the head coach.
It's shocking.
Yeah.
But with how coaching has been this year in general, I think maybe he is a good option at this point in time with some of the in-game stupidity that we've seen across all levels.
There has been some wild stuff.
I think Micah Parsons is going to come and show out today, shut down McCaffrey, cement his name in the Cowboys Stadium.
Wow.
Cement him in the billboards of Dallas.
This comes right after he says, like, they're going to lose by a tight margin. He will have an amazing game.
Him in the stadium.
Yeah, it's like week 5.
What is he, like, putting his handprint on the,
new
driveway? On the sidewalk?
Yes. Parsons had a good game in a close loss.
It's important. Hey.
Levi Stadium legend.
Didn't he say that about the Lions game too? Oh, it could be a tough one with the injuries. What's your prediction? 28-7.
Well, they're going to beat the fuck out of them still, but
that's how she
something
goes.
to keep in mind.
We're flip-flopping our way around here. All right, boys. Well, I think that was a pretty decent recap here. What's the Monday night game?
Monday night is Green Bay and Las Vegas.
Yucky.
2 teams that we'll see this year.
God, they're both unexciting. They're like the same amount of unexciting. Vegas 2-point favorites in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Weird line.
Yeah, I hate it.
Fear not, though. They can start flexing games pretty shortly here. Due to the time of season, yes.
Oh, we'll be flexed hard.
But you can even flex the Monday and Sunday night games. I think it starts week 9 or 10. So hopefully we won't get too many more clunkers with the ability to be able to do that late in the season.
Why were we flexed to 4, though? I feel like that's just like doesn't do anything for me.
It doesn't make sense.
I actually don't like it. I'd rather be the 1 o'clock game.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
It's a weird one. Don't really understand that. All right, cool. Well, Jerry sent an over-under if you guys want to just
let's do it. Let's
wrap her up and call it a Sunday show. All right, Jerry, over-under 10-8. He says LGRW Hornies are still at 12-2. Massive game Tuesday against the number 1 team in the state.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go Hornies. Good
Should we
luck
get down there and do a tailgate video for it?
We should try to, at least one of them. Maybe the playoffs?
Yeah, we might have to get down there and see what the Hornies are all about.
Yep.
We could grab some of the blue crew, too. And just help us out.
Borrow the Tubgate.
Yeah. I want to grab the Tub Gators and go to Chicago. And we play them early December.
Yeah.
That'd be wild to have the Tub out there. Soldier Field just freezing our asses off. Quick pneumonia. All right, number 1 on the list, Ice Cold Brew. Lou, you're leading it off. Number 1, Halloween pop-up stores. Over or underrated?
Halloween pop-up stores, I am going to say, are overrated. They absolutely jack up the prices on the costumes. You never wear it more than once. The material is like paper thin, like it cuts, a butter knife could cut through it. They just try to rip you off. It's good to go there, get an idea what you want to be for Halloween, but overall I think they are overrated.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Lou here as well. I'm going to say overrated. I don't really get my costumes from these Halloween USAs or retail stores. They're all the generic ones. If you really want a good costume, go to your local thrift shops, go to some other specialty stores, order it online. But I don't want to see these Halloween USA pop-ups filling, the old Toys R Us's and Best Buys, the old Kmart's. Get out of here. Overrated.
Good takes, boys. Yeah, they're completely overrated. If you need something quick in a pinch, you need a gold chain, whatever, you can go grab the cheap stuff there. But the prices are way inflated. The costumes usually are pretty cheap. If you can ever find like a boutique actual costume store that's like open year round, they have like the best stuff you could ever have. And like they're small shops usually, and those are the spots to get them. But Lou's right too. You can go there, get an idea of what to be, and then either get it online or get it at a local spot.
It's always fun to just kind of build your own and like get different pieces from areas.
And you're just like in this shell of a failed business that like they just slap the sign over. Yeah. It's depressing all around. All right, number 2, Channy, Toledo, the city.
Okay. To be honest with you, I've never stopped and or stayed in Toledo. Nothing's ever wanted to bring me to Toledo. So for that, it is part of Ohio, and I'm going to say it's overrated.
Yeah, I got nothing on Toledo. I know what are they? Are they the Rockets? The Rockets are there,
yes.
And the Mud Hens.
The Mud Hens, yeah.
My buddy's dad went to Toledo, and the Mud Hens are the farm team. I don't know much about it. I got nothing against the good people of Ohio. I'll say underrated. I don't know anything about it.
It smells like shit. Overrated there.
Number three, I'm leading it off. Heated seats. Heated seats are underrated. Absolutely. Sometimes you can get away with just heating the seat and not even turning the air on. I love heated seats. I think it's the quickest way to get warm in the car. And I feel like I've been spoiled. Like growing up, like not all cars had heated seats, and now I almost feel like it's a standard feature.
Yep.
So that's it's kind of an old person in me, but like that's a luxury that I just feel like it wasn't always a guaranteed thing.
Nope, I agree.
So I'm gonna say underrated, but it's nice to have them.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow suit with you, Frank. Also, would like to add in there the heated steering wheel.
Oh.
That is absolutely fantastic in the winter. And one of my favorite things to do with the heated seat is whenever I pick up carry-out food, fire up the heated seat a little bit, toss the food on there.
Absolutely.
Keep her warm.
Yeah.
Severely underrated, the heated seat.
Yep. So I'm going to agree with you guys. Underrated. I don't really use my heated seats much, to be honest, but Lou, you hit the nail on the head. You pick up a Jets, you throw it on the passenger seat, you rip it up to the third level, and it's somewhat warm when you get home.
Yeah, it probably doesn't do anything, but I like the idea that I'm keeping this warm.
Yeah.
This is good.
No, it does.
You guys ever been into a car that has the air? It's not like
the cool
seats.
kinda. Yeah.
I used to have them in my old car, and it was great. Like, there was no back sweat.
The back sweat is where it is the best.
Keeps the butthole dry for sure.
Yeah. I will say I had a Cherokee for heat warmers, and there was only 2 options. There's high and low, and the low was like pretty good, but the high was like absolutely scorching. It was just like absolutely like it was too much, and I'd have that back sweat you were talking about, and it would singe my ball sack. What's going on over there? You're losing.
Keep the butthole cold.
Dry.
What is going on, man?
Hey, it's Sunday show. All right, Lou,
After fiction.
are you up? I don't know who's up.
Chandler,
I never know
No,
who's
it's
up.
me. It's me. Okay.
Chelsea's back in the game. All right, number 4. I wonder what's going to be said here. Running marathons.
Oh,
Over or underrated, Lou? I know you're a big runner.
I hate marathons. I hate the turkey trot. I hate the Detroit Free Press Marathon.
Why
Those
that
are the
one
only,
specifically?
those are the only marathons.
You're naming them by name? Like,
marathons are overrated. Ugh.
Okay, wow. That's
Good take.
I don't know if I'm going to run in a marathon, but marathons in general are underrated. I did just see today a new world record was set for a marathon. I think the guy did it in like 2 hours flat, basically.
Oh my God.
So the time you've got to spend to train for a marathon and then to complete the marathon, I mean, it's just something I could do it, but I don't think I'd ever have the commitment to do it.
Wow.
So kudos to
Humble
marathon runners. Underrated.
Yeah, like the humble brag at the end there. Something you could do, you just don't have time.
I don't want to dedicate 2 to 3
You're just too
hours
busy.
training a day.
You're too busy.
I wouldn't be doing this.
So marathons, yeah, I agree with you, Channy. Good for you if you can pull one off. Old people doing them, very impressive. I've done a half marathon, and I got done with that half marathon. I said, that's probably the limit there. Anything more I'd have to train, and I don't know if I'm going to have the dedication to do that. But, you run marathons, that's cool. I guess just don't every time, don't make it your whole personality or shove it down my face, I guess. But I guess if that's your thing, that's your thing.
Yeah.
So whatever. Underrated. Marathons are fine. Could you elaborate a little more on your puke?
Dude, one, I'll never run a marathon with my figure, so that's reason number one why I hate them.
I think because you don't have that dog in you.
I also hate that, I don't want to spend a holiday like Thanksgiving down in Detroit running in a big circle for 26.2 miles. It just sounds like a waste of time.
You're not running around a racetrack.
And marathons are only on Christmas. Yeah. That's the only day you can get them in.
You ruin holidays. You make you feel bad about yourself. You make you feel bad about other people who can't do them. They are overrated.
I think people feel pretty good after a marathon.
Not the ones I know. They hate it.
They hate it?
Yeah.
Got it.
Someone needs to dry their butthole.
You. I don't know who's up. I never know who's
Me,
up. Okay.
Jenny.
Number 5, kicking and punting in football. Over or underrated, Chandler? Ridiculous last one here from Jerry.
I'm just going to say that kicking and punting in football is underrated. Field position does matter. And also having a good kicker just makes a world of difference with how you're going to be aggressive, what you're going to do in certain situations, and just getting points up in the board in general. So underrated for kicking and punting.
Yep, I'm going to agree with you. Underrated because you can say it's overrated until you don't have it. The Lions fucked around with 12 different kickers for a minute there. It stunk. Jack Fox, awesome punter. Detroit Lions, we don't even think about him anymore because he's so good. If we didn't have that guy, we'd have to think about punting.
Yep.
It's awesome when you don't have to think about kicking and punting. So I'm going to say underrated as well.
Yep, I'm with you, boys. Underrated. It's already burned us once this year. Got to have field position. Got to make your field goals, make your extra points. Important part of the game. Underrated.
Keep it clean, keep it tight.
That's right. Keep
The
it
Lions,
dry.
dry. The Detroit Lions are 4-1. We are atop the NFC North. The train rolls on. We have 2 weeks on the road, so we won't be at tailgate until we return on Devil's Night. The whole team will be down here Monday Night Football, but we will have podcast shows for you in between then. So keep listening, keep sharing. We see you guys out there. We appreciate you guys listening, liking, following, all the stuff. Couldn't do it without you. It's been a lot of fun, and we will see you guys later this week.
Yep. Have a great first half of the week, everybody.
Go Lions, baby.
See ya.